as Brics Women, we were only constituted in 2020. This was after the women of Brics that were part of the Brics Business Council went to the heads of states and said, look, we're not finding expression in economic corridors within the Brics. So we'd like to be a separate parallel structure in equal standing, focused on economic cooperation because our women are participating in the economic corridors of Brics. And of course, the net result is in 2020 under Russia's presidency that was officiated and there we were born. Now our responsibility is really to advance the female equity within the Brics corridors. And how we advance that female equity is facilitating transactions such as these. For the past 4.5 years, ourselves as South Africa, we went and we spent extensive time in visiting Brics countries, participating in various activities, purely because we were looking at establishing the right kind of networks with different businesses, small, medium, large, and corporate businesses, so that when we understand, which we now know, in infrastructure we're dealing with this one, in agriculture we're dealing with these ones, in energy we're dealing with that, then we are able to then bring them back and pair them up with our women this side. Now the pairing up is exactly what our responsibility is. To say, bring the two together. She's small, she's big, they want to come together, she's looking for a market. She has a market, but she doesn't have the financial muscle or capacity. But the two of them coming together, that changes the landscape altogether and becomes a win-win cooperation, right? So there are 4 pillars that we speak of as a Brics women. Number 1, if we're not talking trade, we're talking investment. If it's not investment, it's capacity building. If it is not, it is definitely tech transfer partnerships. We practicalize these things. When you imagine tech transfer, Brazil is feeding the world with poultry, with chicken. And when you zoom in and study Brazil, why Brazil is able to feed the world and supply the world with chicken, you realize that they've brought in technologies in their production cycle, number 1. Number 2, that has enabled them to reduce cost, the cost of production, and therefore their price of selling chicken to the world is far cheaper than anybody can actually compete, right? But we are friends within Brics. There's a market in Africa that Brazil would be looking for. That's where the cooperation comes in. The tech transfer cooperation comes in, because we bring in your technology, we bring your expertise, but we also solve our own problems here at home, because we also want our women to grow. There's unemployment issues that we need to be dealing with, a combination of that, bringing that technology, bringing the production capability in South Africa to access then the African market space. So that's how we practicalize what we do. We'd love to see impact. We are not a state-funded institution at all, quite frankly. We are a non-profit organization that uses its own resources. I think the bigger demand, and this is what I'd like to say to Abo Mama, 4.5 years, 19,910 hours invested in Brics, my own money traveling all over the Brics countries. The whole point is, while it is volunteer work, if you do not have passion for what you're doing, I have passion for that impact. Which is why I've invested so much time. I would like to see Mama believe ukuthi angiyolima kugadini kuphela ngiphelele la ekhaya ngiyondla ingane zami. Kusenokwenza ukuthi ngingalima ama-products wami abe ku-domestic shelf, ngilime ama-products wami abe ku-international shelf space. Ours is to ignite that energy amongst our women entrepreneurs to say, if there is a commercial business today, was not born commercial. They started small somewhere. Some businesses started Guma garages in their own homes, and today they are multinationals. So it is very much doable. They're all human like ourselves. They've got blood running through their streams. So it's very, very possible. It's very doable. And we are here to support. Of course, we can't do it by ourselves. This is where the public-private sector matters. While we had struggles here, we were not supported. We had to see to finish how we pulled this off. However, we are, again, urging our government and the various Brics governments, quite frankly, to say women-led development is what will deliver the gender equity and the gender equality that SDG 5 speaks of. It cannot be that, I think, one of the leaders, I'm not going to mention her name, but she said nothing about us without us. It's not a political statement, but it is a statement that says, let me be involved in solutioning for me because I know what my needs are. So while we've got DFIs, we've got various agencies that are seeking to empower women, it becomes important for government to involve the women in process mapping, in designing that solution, so that women can then own it, own the solution. Yeah.
So how do you think the cascade of the information gets to the people? How do you actually do it? Do you think media is doing enough to make sure that the information goes down to people?
I'd say absolutely not. Not doing enough. You are a voice of edutainment. You educate, you entertain, you create awareness. However, I think where the gap is content that sells. Yes, it's news, it's scandals, it's this, it's that. But where is content that empowers the mind, empowers that woman to start dreaming and dreaming big? How often do we push such content? How often do we push content that speaks to trade between BRICS countries? BRICS plus countries, because now we're more. Right? How often do we drive content that says investors are looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? So, so we create awareness, we educate, so our people become more and more aware. We are missing that voice within the media space, and we certainly would welcome it as the BRICS women, because ours is exactly that, advancing the women economic participation for female equity. That is our voice as we walk towards a multipolar world order. We would like to see women playing a much significant role in that, not only at leadership level, but in economic corridors as well.
Where do you see the organization in the next years?
At least if not one company in South Africa is listed in the Joburg Stock Exchange, let it be that they are closer to listing. Yeah? The impossibles. It remains impossible until it was done. And please do excuse us, I'm not a politician, but we do learn from our foremothers and our forefathers. Yes, we of course respect that Tutatu Madiba went to prison for 27 years. However, may we just pause for a minute and recognize the Queen herself, Umatikizela Mandela, that she was on the ground. She was mobilizing the people. She was bearing the brunt, yeah? And the net result is what we saw as a freedom. The Bomama that marched in 1956 to the Union Building, right? Were in the forefront fighting an oppressive social system that dehumanized us. Now, Apo Mama Bat today, learning from our foremothers, is exactly that ours today is economic freedom. It is economic equality. We cannot do it in corridors. We cannot do it while we are running with fear. At some given point, we've got to allow God to lead us so we can run fearlessly and understand that the journey ahead is not going to be an easy one, just as much as it wasn't easy for our foremothers. It's not going to be easier for us either.
Thank you so much.
So, what does this mean for the women in the rural areas? The women that are trying to create co-ops?
Institutions. The president of the BRICS Chamber of Commerce, the Women Empowerment Vertical, precisely because she is looking for such women. India has economy by focusing in rural communities, right? We brought India here for Labo Mama, who are cooperatives, who are in the rural spaces, because we are learning from India. India is doing it. India is banking the unbankable. India is now producing more. India's economy is moving, right? So we brought them here, number one. But number two, we also brought a non-BRIC member country. We brought colleagues from the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries in Oman. Oman is almost like a Dubai. It's a very, it's almost like a desert, if you like. They are importing many foodstuffs, right? Anything agriculture is largely imported into their country. In the last year, part of the work we do as BRICS Women Business Alliance, in the last year we've been engaging them and saying, as part of the Sultanate of Oman program, we've got many of our women in rural spaces that are producing, that would love to sell to you. What can we start with now? And they said fruits and vegetables. And I said, thank you very much. Please join us in South Africa in March so you can engage the women directly. And they are here. They're actually in this room right now, and they're here precisely for that. Yeah?
Okay, that's great news. I'm so excited because currently there is this initiative that they are trying to do. There's a scarcity of turmeric, so they are trying to, they want to get into the market of planting and selling turmeric to other countries. So they are, that's the programs that they are running right now. So I am so ecstatic that this, after this BRICS summit, there should be a way forward for these women.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, there are agriculture hubs in this province that we got to learn about. We certainly will post the summit, reach out and partner, because you see, this is not a journey that you can travel purely as private sector, nor can government, public sector travel it alone. It's a collaborative effort. So, practical again, Oman says we want to buy fruits and veggies from you, right? But then Oman looks at our women's fruits and veggies and they're like, they're not meeting our quality standards, right? They need improvement here, improvement there, improvement there. The DFIs we have in this province, in different parts of the country, those DFIs are then directed. So we say, Oman, we hear you, but may we have an offtake from you, right? Where you've given us an offtake, that's as good as an order. Right? Then we are able to take that offtake, go to the DFIs and say, okay, the women have the offtake, their quality is not to the standard. May we fund a specific program that helps improve the quality, that helps with the packaging to meet the standards required for this offtake. Right? Then you are speaking not skills development, you're speaking capacity development, but against a specific market. It is not just random.